You know, we've all had those teachers, right? The ones that really change things for us. But have you ever really stopped and thought about what exactly makes a teacher great? Well, today we're going to break it down. And not with just, vague ideas, but with an actual real-world blueprint that's used to evaluate educators. Let's see what it tells us.
So what is it? Is it just knowing your subject inside and out, or having a super captivating personality? And yeah, those things definitely help, for sure. But the real answer? It's way more complex, and honestly a lot more interesting. It's a whole combination of different skills, all working together, kind of like a detailed architectural plan. And that's really the core idea for us today. Great teaching isn't some kind of magic, it's a blueprint. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to look at a real, super comprehensive teacher assessment form. This is a tool designed to map out every single piece of what makes a teacher excellent.
Now this blueprint, it doesn't just judge. It's all about measuring growth. Everything, and I mean everything, is rated on this 5-level scale. It maps out a journey from ineffective all the way up to exemplary. So think of it less like a final grade and more like a roadmap for getting better. Let's follow that roadmap, starting with the very foundation.
So let's start where all great teaching has to begin, way before the first student even walks in the door. This is the foundational stuff. It's all about the planning and creating the exact right environment where learning can actually happen.
And here's the thing you have to understand about these pillars. They have to come first. I mean, it just makes sense, right? If you don't have clear lesson plans, solid classroom management, and a feeling of safety and respect, well, no real learning is going to happen. These are the absolute non-negotiables. And this slide just shows you how huge the gap can be. Let's take respect and rapport. An ineffective classroom, you might see negative, even disrespectful interactions. But an exemplary one, that's a place with exceptional trust, where every single student feels seen and valued. The distance between those two worlds is enormous, and it changes absolutely everything.
Okay, so with that foundation solidly in place, the stage is set. Now we get to the part we all remember from school, right? The active, dynamic process of instruction and how a truly great teacher can bring learning to life.
The journey of student engagement is a perfect example of this. A teacher might start at level 1, where the classroom is pretty passive, but as they grow, they move toward more active, varied activities. And at the very top level, they're not just engaging students anymore, they're inspiring them to take ownership, to actually lead their own learning. That's the real goal.
A huge part of great instruction is this one concept: differentiation. It's kind of a formal term for something that's really intuitive. The whole one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. A great teacher is constantly adapting what they're doing to meet the needs of every single student in that room, making sure no one gets left behind and no one is bored.
Okay, so you've planned everything perfectly. You've delivered a super engaging lesson. But how do you know if it actually worked? That brings us to the next critical piece: assessment and feedback. And this is not just about grades. It's about creating a constant loop of improvement.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. At the ineffective level, feedback is either totally missing or it's just not helpful. But at the exemplary level, it is a completely different tool. It's ongoing, it's personalized, and, this is crucial, it actually empowers students to assess their own work and figure out how to get better. This really highlights a massive shift in philosophy. Modern, effective feedback is not a postmortem on what went wrong. It's a forward-looking guide. It gives students clear, actionable steps they can take to nail it next time.
You know, a great teacher's work doesn't just stop when the bell rings. The blueprint for excellence actually extends out into the wider school community and the profession as a whole. This part is all about what it means to be a true professional.
And this section covers so much ground. We're talking about their own professional growth, collaborating with their colleagues, building real partnerships with families. It even gets into things like cultural responsiveness and global awareness. It paints this incredibly holistic picture of what a modern teacher's role really is.
This quote, pulled right from the assessment form, just captures the spirit of that top level perfectly. It's not enough to just collaborate. The best teachers, they actively create a culture of collaboration. They go from being a solo act to being a leader who lifts up everybody around them. This chart is a great way to visualize that path to growth. Take global awareness. A teacher might start out including, well, none of it. Over time, they become proficient by regularly weaving in global issues. But to be exemplary, now they're leading school-wide initiatives, connecting their students to the entire world in a really profound way. So, as we start to pull all this together, it becomes really clear that this blueprint, it's not some checklist you just finish. It's a map for a continuous journey of professional growth and reflection.
This whole structure, from ineffective all the way to exemplary, is designed to support that very journey. It gives everyone a clear language and a shared vision for what excellence looks like. It lets teachers see exactly where they are and, more importantly, where they can go next.
And that brings us to a really vital part of the actual form itself. After an observer fills it out, the teacher is then asked to reflect on their own practice. Because the ultimate goal here, it's not judgment. It's all about sparking meaningful self-assessment.
The form asks the teacher point blank, what areas do you wish to improve? It's such a simple question, but it shifts the power. It encourages them to take ownership of their own professional development. It's like looking at the blueprint and deciding which part you want to build up next.
And then comes what is, maybe, the most important question of all. It's an acknowledgement that teachers can't do this stuff alone. Real growth requires support, it requires resources, and it requires a system that's truly invested in helping every teacher be the absolute best they can be.
Which leaves us with this final critical thought. We have the blueprint. We know in incredible detail what great teaching looks like. So the real challenge isn't just identifying it, it's creating a system that truly empowers and supports every single teacher on their journey to build it for every single student.